check this out. This is your last chance to own a brand new Toyota Supra. Yes, your last chance to buy a 2026 Toyota Supra, because after March 2026, this thing will be discontinued for the upcoming Supra. And the one that you've seen here, it's called the Final Edition. Only a handful of these will be made. And today, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the 2026 Toyota Supra Final Edition. Let's roll. Okay, special thanks for today's video goes to our great friends at Thornhill Toyota. They're a Toyota dealership located just north of Toronto. They're kind enough to allow us to borrow this thing for the day and show you everything you need to know. And shockingly, it's actually a pretty good day for November. I expected to snow this week, but it didn't. And today we're going to take this thing for a spin and show you what this final edition is all about. What does it offer? And if you want to order one, well, there's a very small chance of you ordering one, because what I've heard is that there's only 25 coming to Canada, very limited, and therefore they may be sold out by the ones that wanted it first. But maybe there's a chance that you can get one still, potentially. But let's start first with the exterior. What does it offer with this final edition model? Well, what you see for today's video has this matte black exterior, which looks absolutely nasty, and that's in a positive way. It looks like the type of car that's Darth Vader would own, a sports car that he could drive while conquering planets. That's literally it. Front end, we've got the standard LED lights with this package. There's also the blacked out internal of the housing for the headlights. Moving further down, we have this performance lip at the front. This comes with the GT4 package, and it is mandatory in Canada. Adds up $20,000 on top of the original price. In the US, you're looking about $70,000 plus. In Canada, list is about $86,000 because of that GT4 package. But there's not just exterior. We'll talk about the rest of it. But the front end, next thing you notice is the blacked out Toyota badge. And then moving on to the side profile. Next thing, we've got the wheels. 19-inch wheels, 255 in the front, 275 in the back. These are the Pilot Super Sport tires, Michelin in this case. And you've seen these wheels before in the manual edition version that they offered a year or 2 years ago. And next thing you notice is the design for the side skirt. There's more of that GT4 design in here. And then moving on to the back side, on the lower ends, the rear tire, we have the GR badge, which is part of the final edition. Next thing, the mirrors. These are painted in red. The mirror caps at the top, and the bottom part is the glossy finish. The roof remains very much the same. There's no carbon fiber or any of that. And then moving on to the rear side, we've got the duckbill spoiler, in this case, made out of carbon fiber. Now, you probably have seen that before in an aftermarket Supra. Yes, because many people ordered it separate. It came out before this unit was introduced. We've got the standard exhaust tip, single on each side. The aggressive diffuser with the GT4 package, really nice looking. The back, the Supra overall was a very good looking vehicle, and I've never said anything negative about this car. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a bit of that BMW DNA in here. It drove amazing, it looked amazing, and it was such a successful story. Now, let's get onto the inside, and let me show you what it offers on the interior. One of the things that you notice when you jump in is the plaque on this side, which says Final Edition 25, only for Canada, limited to 25. So that down the road, if you sell this, people will know they're only made 25 units. Now, the interior doesn't get any crazy enhancements. It's little details. So let's start first with the steering wheel. We've got the standard design, and nothing crazy here, no added badges. It does come with a heads-up display with this package, the standard cluster. In the middle, we have this beautiful carbon fiber piece, and this one, it's in manual. And the next thing you notice is the seats. They have this beautiful red stitching, perforated red in the center looks really amazing, and a two-piece design. You've got the suede or Alcantara in the centerpiece, leather with the red stitching, and the GR badge stitched on the headrest. Everything else on this side remains the same. Now, the gear lever and the gear boot in this case has the red stitching, the leather. The dashboard has the standard stitching white in this case. We've got the standard screen infotainment, nothing crazy. There's some buttons on this side, your sport mode. Nothing too insane about that design overall. Things remain very much the same. We've got your standard mats in here. The seats are comfortable. You have your red painted seat belts in this case, and that's about it. There are two paint choices available. The white one, which is called Burnout, and this one is called Undercover. These are the two options for the final edition. Which one would I take? I don't like black cars, but man, this thing looks good. The only problem I have is that the carbon fiber disappears in the back, so I may have to go for a white if that was me. The white color would look better, especially with the matte black wheels. Now, what about the suspension, engine, the shocks, everything? Do they remain the same? That's what we're going to find out. So let's go for a drive. So what do we have in here? Well, 3-liter inline-6 turbocharged engine. It's the B58, legendary B58, making 382 brake horsepower and about 368 pound-feet of torque. Now, what makes this engine so special is because whatever BMW puts up on their, or Toyota in this case, on their website, it's not true. It actually makes more horsepower. I have had so much fun with the Supra, and I'll tell you, it does not make 382. This thing makes like 430 horsepower, maybe 382 to the wheels, potentially. Now, the exhaust. Well, it's a standard exhaust that came with the manual transmission edition, which sounds really good. Single exhaust on each side. Brakes are bigger this time, 14.7-inch for the front with the 4-piston caliper Brembo brakes. And we've got a much stiffer damping suspension compared to the outgoing model. This is the electronic, well, not necessarily outgoing model, but the standard Supra. These are electronically controlled dampers. That means that every time you switch modes, it stiffens or loosens the actual suspension system. The damping gets stiffer or softer. So that's a great feature to have for day-to-day and track use. The brakes are superb in this thing. Next thing we have is the front anti-roll bar, which has stiffer bushings, new underbody brace for added structure agility. There is increased negative camber at both ends to improve grip. And the suspension has been revised for better stiffness and better damping. There's also revised mapping for the electronic differential controls to better manage power out of corners. It has the GT4 style pack that we saw in this vehicle. So what they have done essentially is make the Supra Final Edition, well, a bit more appealing and for better track use. That's the way I see it. The suspension has been revised, the diff has been revised. So all the components that make this thing an amazing car around the track, potentially for a lot of people, well, just got even better. So, how many units are going to be available? Well, in Canada, there's about 25 units available. In the US, about 900 units. Meanwhile, worldwide, 300 units. Some people say, Sam, that seems pretty low for Canada. It's a smaller market, therefore they're not going to offer more of that. They're going to save them mostly for the United States. There's a much larger market compared to us. Should you buy one? Well, here's the thing. I
personally think the Toyota Supra down the road is going to be a highly collectible machine, because it was probably the most successful marriage between two car brands ever, in my opinion. When two brands got together and made something like this, it became so popular that even Toyota fans switched to BMW. Technically, they were against this. They switched to this. And BMW fans that didn't like the Toyota Supra, they didn't like Toyota, for example, but this vehicle. So that's a huge achievement. They sold so many of these, and this thing has been on market since 2019, 2020, and it did really well while using an older user interface. And I think what Toyota has done with this, it's perfect. It's the perfect send-off to one of the greatest sports cars, in my opinion. And I've always been of that opinion, that this is one of the greatest sports cars ever made.